the 27th of January, 2025. I'm your host, Nathaniel Newton, and as well on the phone with me, I have Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hey, brother. Home again, unfortunately. But glad to be here, brother.
It
glad
happens.
To be
it
here.
happens.
I have a sty in my eye, and the medication that they're giving me is in the form of this cream stuff that I have to fill up my eye socket with, which blocks my vision, and I'm not driving while I'm going through this. And
yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Will be for a couple of days. So there you go.
That sounds dreadful. That sounds absolutely dreadful.
Humidify your places, folks.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see the weather for today?
A red screen on the Weather Channel gives me heart palpitations every time.
Well, it's not going to be that bad, but there is chances that there could be some power outages due to trees blowing over power lines because they're expecting anywhere from 40 to 80 kilometer an hour winds all day.
Glad I'll be inside.
Well, see, the temperatures...
That's Canada. That's what makes us tough.
Yeah, it's one of those big
Canadian.
weather things that happens where there's like pressure or something changing. So like while that's happening, the temperature is going to be dropping from -1 to -17. So it's a big change in the temperature that happens. You know how it is, I'm sure.
When I was a little girl, my stepfather was stationed in Goose Bay, Labrador. And at that time, they had the worst snowfall ever. And we were snowed into our house. And instead of complaining about it, we all grabbed shovels and we went out and we dug a fort in the front yard with walls so high they were impenetrable.
Wow.
And I became queen of the snowball of the block.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That sounds like so much fun. Well,
that's Canadian.
Well, speaking of Canadian weather, shortly we're going to be having an interview with someone way out in Yukon. And we'll be having a chat about a show that they have coming up at the Shankman Center. But before that, Maria, you had a song that you gave me here. Actually, you gave me a bunch of songs, but the one that you wanted to start with was, I believe, Edge of Chaos Labyrinth by Steve Joseph.
I'm just going to start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we broadcast from the unceded territory of the Algonquin people, and we thank and appreciate the Anishinaabe peoples for their stewardship of this land long before we came. Miigwech. Yes, I know you have a busy day today, and I'm just going to get out of the way and let that happen. But before I do, can I just congratulate you on that time lapse that you posted on YouTube? Come on, tell people about it, would you?
Well, I saw somebody that I follow was saying that the Thwaites Glacier on the West Antarctic ice sheet was having some issues. They were incredibly concerned. They were saying that it's collapsing and sliding off the side of the continent. But I wasn't a little bit too sure based on the pictures that they provided, so I went on NASA's database and I pulled high-resolution images for the past 25 years, one picture every day, and made a time-lapse of that to show the glaciers sliding off and melting into the ocean.
That's scary stuff to watch. That's a horror movie in slow-mo.
Yeah.
And I think people should pay attention to this because this is our world. This is our planet. The second Monday of every month, we have guests on who come in to talk about what's going on in our world and our environment. And we're very grateful to have them, aren't we, Nate?
Yes, we are. Angela and Cafes. We'll definitely be having them on again soon here. They're back again, not next week, but the week after. So, yeah. It's always a good time.
And for today's show,
we have music and interviews. Barb's going to have an interview later on, I believe, with somebody from the Greek Canadian Theatre Company. I'd have to double check with her, but we'll have that on later in the show. But for now, let's play that song that you had for us, Edge of Chaos. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Absolutely. CKCU 93.1 FM. We are the mighty CKCU.
and we will be on tour for about a week and a half in Ontario and some shows in Alberta, and I think one in Fredericton. And the New York Collective is an ensemble of Northern Canadian artists. We are a band with an eclectic mix of a whole bunch of people from the north. We have a throat singer and a drum dancer, Sylvia Cluche, spoken word artist and bass player, Pat Braden, Carmen Braden from the Northwest Territories, who is a classical composer, Diet, for a singer-songwriter from the Yukon, myself from the Yukon Territory, Graham Peters from the Yukon Territory, who is a guitar player, singer-songwriter, Selena Savage, who's a trombone player from the Yukon, and then we have Eric Reed from BC and Jan de Rude from Greenland. So a really large band, and yeah, we're an eclectic mix of a whole bunch of people doing
from all over,
songs.
I guess. Yeah, all over North America. There, it's quite the it's a long distance you have to travel from. I was looking at
we're all going to have to travel quite a bit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've got quite the different weather going on right now. I noticed that you're kind of having a bit of a strange weather snap there right now, eh?
Yeah, it's very strange. I think it was 5 above yesterday.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
In January, that's not very common at all. In the Yukon, usually it's like 30 below here right now. So very, very strange.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going out on the canal. It's been the first year that has been really good for skating on the canal here in Ottawa in a couple of years.
Right, yeah.
I definitely recommend it if you have a chance to take a look at it while you're in this city.
Sure, that sounds fun.
I've got a couple of songs that were forwarded through here so people can get an idea of what the sound of the band is like. And I've got First Sign of Spring, I've got Mountains, and Road Warrior. Which one would you recommend that we play for people to listen to, and then we can go back and chat for a minute more, okay?
Road Warrior is a great song. That's also the name of the album.
Nice. All right, we'll play that, and then we'll come back and chat a little bit more and let people know all the details of the upcoming show.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
So I noticed that a lot of the artists in the collective are from the circumpolar regions. I think pretty much all of them are, right?
Yeah, pretty much all of them. We have, although Eric Reed is from North Vancouver, which is kind of cool too, and Jan Vruda lives at this time in Belgium, but when we met, let's say over the last 10 years, he lived in Greenland. So yeah, everybody's from the circumpolar north.
Now I found that, at least from my perspective, it seems like people are paying more attention to the art and the traditions, the culture from the circumpolar region as of late. Do you find that's the case, or is it just something that I've not really studied myself?
I think there's definitely an interest in the north. It's also it's a pretty magical place. A lot of we notice, traveling and touring with my other bands in Canada, when we say we're from the Yukon, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to go there. And so there's definitely a bit of mystery to the north. And I think the combination of that and maybe people hearing about climate change and all those kind of things. And so, yeah, I do think that it's definitely a very interesting place that a lot of people in Canada have maybe not been yet.
Yeah, no, I think the farthest north I've been is not very far off or into Quebec on the north side of Ottawa. Personally, I haven't been very far. But I definitely spent a lot of time looking over the Yukon Mountains and the other Northwest Territories mountains in Google Earth and looking at all of the different features and stuff that would be amazing to see. And some of these places that basically have never been touched by human feet. There's people don't realize just how big and beautiful and amazing the north of Canada is.
Yes, it's an amazing, vast land of just amazing landscapes. And we will be during the show. We have video projection behind us showing some of that too.
Nice.
So if people come to the show, they get a little bit of a taste of the north for sure, with the visual that we're presenting too during the songs. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah, for sure.
Amazing.
So that'll be at the Richcraft Theater at the Shenkman Arts Center. That's in Orleans area. If you're familiar with the Ottawa region, that's in New Orleans, and people will be able to get tickets there at ShenkmanArtsCenter.ca. Prices range from $20 to $30, and it'll be in the Richcraft Theater. So I've been to a bunch of different stuff at the Shenkman, and I really like the place. It's a great venue. It's a really well made, really well
It's great.
It's a great place. I definitely recommend people come out to see. So we got time for one more song. Shall I play Mountains or First Sign of Spring?
It's early in the morning. Let's see. It's actually 6 o'clock for me in the morning. Let's do Mountains.
Yes. All right. Well, it's been wonderful to chat with you. Thanks for taking the time, and I look forward to hearing more from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Yeah, thanks for getting up so early for us. We appreciate it here.
All good. All good. Thank you.
Mountains move slower than my feet.
That was First Sign of Spring by the New North Collective. And before that, we listened to Mountains, also by the New North Collective. They have the upcoming show at the Shankman Center on February the 4th. Check out the ckcufm.com website and the Monday Special Blend playlist page for a link to the details to buy tickets and everything for the New North Collective. Definitely check them out. They're pretty cool. So, now I do have an upcoming interview shortly with Barb Gray. Barb is back in town. It's great to see Barb again. And now, but before that, I've got another song that Maria sent that we're going to play here. It's called Free for a While. She sent me a number of songs from local artists, from Canadian artists here that we like to feature. But I don't think I'm going to have time to play them all. So we'll start with this one, and then after that we should have our interviewee ready to talk to. CKZU FM 93.1 in Ottawa. That was Mystery Boys from the Church of Trees, and before that we had Free for a While from Christopher Jackson. All right, so coming up at the Great Canadian Theatre Company, we've got Barb again here in studio to tell us about another play that's coming up there. Hey, Barb, good to have you back. I hope you had a great holiday and a happy new year and all of that.
I did, thank you, and I hope our listeners and you did especially. The play I'm going to discuss at the Great Canadian Theatre Company is called Why It's Impossible. And the M, the I-M, has been crossed out so that it could be possible. It's a play about parenting in precarious times. It was written by Sophia Fabili, and I was hoping Sophia could call in this morning. And it's starring Zoe Sweet. And Zoe Sweet was the co-creator of this play. It's a subject, of course, that's very political at the moment, especially in the States. It affects the educational system, the medical system, families, religion, and of course the child themselves. It encompasses all of that. Of course, social divisions, family divisions, and all of those things. So it's, of course, two genders are being described in south of the border. But this is something that many parents, I think, have had to deal with. And we wonder how uncomfortable some of the people in the audience might be. But the audience seemed very sympathetic towards this particular subject. The audience may have been a little confused because the actor, who is Zoe Sweet, and it's a one-hander, meaning she held the stage for an hour and a half, which is just amazing, used the terminology they and them and her son. So it wasn't until the child later told the mother what they believed that they really were, which gender they believed they really were, that we realized that this about the child. The child's point of view slowly emerges through this, but I, as I mentioned, it's a little confusing on the way. I'm wondering if the writer deliberately wanted to confuse the audience with the dialogue prior to the child's announcement, using they and my son. So a lot of the research was done in Kingston. And in Kingston, there's a group that if you live in Kingston or know anyone in Kingston that needs some support, it is called, I'm just looking it up here, Trans Family Kingston. And there's a Facebook page, and it's at Trans Family Kingston. And I see that, I think it's the playwright, Sophia, who teaches in Kingston. That's, I guess, why there's a link there. So it's a trans family group, and if you need, if you want opportunities to come together for resources or have some kind of support, look up Trans Family Kingston. So as I mentioned, there's a 1 hour, 30-minute production. There's no intermission, and this play is going to be performed until February the 2nd. It's 8 o'clock is curtain time, so do go to the Great Canadian Theatre Company website to check this out. Just by the way, it's the 50th anniversary season also for the Great Canadian Theatre Company. And as you may know by the title of the company, they produce only Canadian plays. So I think that's about it for the Great Canadian Theatre Company.
Well, thanks for that, Barb. That's a really important and really poignant subject that people need to see this nowadays. It's been highly politicized, but it's very important for people to see the humanity, the way that this is really happening in real life. It's not a theoretical thing or something that just it's I'm happy to see that they're performing this at the theater company, and I kind of wish I could see it myself.
Yeah, like the playwright and the actor, like they've written the mother in, the parent's mother, so it shows the generation gap where the mother buys pink things for the child, like pink dinosaurs, because the mother said, what would the child like for a birthday?
Right.
Dinosaurs. So the grandmother kept pushing and she got pink dinosaurs. So it deals with that generation gap,
Yeah.
which it seems to be south of the border too. There's not the understanding. And of course, it deals with what the mother grapples with. And of course, we can't forget the child. So
there's a lot of ignorance and misinformation going on around it right now. I find that there's a lot of parallels between what's happening right now with the transgender issue that people have been putting forward is a lot like the satanic panic of the 1960s or 1980s, where people vilified ordinary people playing video games or playing board games with their friends and made it a huge big deal. And there's kind of been a resurgence in the same way. There's a lot of parallels with it, and I've seen people that give a lot more eloquent speeches about this than I. You can find some great videos on YouTube about it. Well, on that note, I do have another song ready to play for us. Thanks to Maria for giving me a good collection of them here for you today. We do have a lot of upcoming events, as usual, here in the city of Ottawa. We have the Ottawa Winter Jazz Festival. We have Debaser having stuff at the Bronson. We've got stuff at the House of Targ. There's always so many things to do. Check out the ckcufm.com/events page, and you'll see that Ottawa is not boring. You just have to figure out what you're going to do because there's too many things to do. Anyway, so let's play another song that we had submitted by a Canadian artist here. This one is called Best of Me. Well, that's our show. Thank you for being here with us. We'll be back again the same time next week. And listening to more interesting music from around the Ottawa Capital Region and the rest of Canada, as well as some other cool and interesting, who knows what we're going to discuss. It's always something fun. Anyways, that's all for today, and we'll be back again same time next week. Thanks for being here.